ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Star receiver Antonio Brown in position to make his Patriots debut today against the Dolphins. He traveled with the team to Miami. Coach Bill Belichick will ultimately make the final call on whether Brown plays. He took part in 3 practices this week, impressed his teammates. If Brown does play today, expect the Pats to keep his playbook simple. And if there are any issues for AB, it'll be with signaling, notes ESPN's Rob Ninkovich.
When you go to no huddle, and everyone's got to be on the same page, and Tom's giving out a signal, or the defense changes, and look, we're going to run a slant, and he gives a signal. That's where you're like, okay, well, what was that? What is this? What's this? What's that? What's this? What's all the what's the sign language here on all the plays?
The NFL's meeting with Brittany Taylor regarding sexual assault allegations against Antonio Brown, and that is set for tomorrow. Neither Brown nor his reps are expected to be at that meeting. The NFL's investigation will also include an interview with Brown. Now injury updates from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Chargers receiver Mike Williams listed as questionable, likely will be used in red zone situations today. Bengals running back Joe Mixon plans to play. 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa expected to play. College football, 9th-ranked Florida rallied to beat Kentucky 29-21, but it came at a high price. Gators QB Felipe Franks dislocated his ankle, expected to miss the rest of the season. Tyson Fury retained his lineal heavyweight title last night, beat Otto Wallin by unanimous decision. Fury's win sets up the possibility of a long-awaited rematch against Deontay Wilder.
Coming up Monday, a full recap of NFL Week 2 and sizing up Browns-Jets for Monday night. Plus tickets to USC Notre Dame and you tailgating with the whole Golick family. We've got your chance to win your way there. It happens Monday, Golick and Wingo, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN 2.
Welcome to Knightline Postgame Live. Night Nation's only postgame call-in show goes live now.
Hello, Night Nation. I am Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline Postgame Live from the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio and on 580 ESPN Orlando. So I'm joined by Jerry Daniels right now because Carson and Kyle aren't here yet. So it was supposed to be Kyle.
It's good for the first time, though.
Yeah, they'll
because
be here. It's all good.
I get to welcome you, right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome to our house. You get Sam and me at least for a little bit until Carson and Kyle get in here. And what a better way to start your show than after that game last night.
Absolutely.
Huh?
It was awesome. Dylan Gabriel, again, did not let down with anything as far as I'm concerned.
Were you surprised to see him get the start?
No, not at all. I think that he's the starter. I don't know why they've been playing games the way that they have, actually, with the whole starter thing. I mean, I understand it a bit, but
transfer. They don't want to have a situation where kids don't want to transfer in the future. I mean,
right.
That has to be it.
Yeah.
Because you look at the skill set and what's going on between the two starters, and it just looks like a no-brainer. But, of course, you and I probably hear things, but we don't know everything that's going on in the head of Josh Heupel.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I understand having a grad transfer and all that come in, but I mean, we all knew, and I think we all know what Brandon Wimbush is as a quarterback. And there's the short and mid-range pass things that we've been talking about the entire time, that's been talked about his entire career, that just aren't as solid as other players. And a lot of times you don't have a true freshman quarterback that can come in and do the things that Dylan Gabriel is doing. I mean, the way that the ball pops off that guy's hand and the way that he just is very accurate, there's ones that he's going to, throw over somebody's head or whatever. Yeah. And he's not, constantly going to be as solid mentally as he, as a seasoned veteran. I mean, he's not Mackenzie Milton. I will say I still call him Mackenzie Milton 2.0 because it feels like he's on. If he was wearing the other number, if he was wearing 10 instead of 11,
reason for that.
Yeah. So I'm good with it as far as that goes. So I think he's done an incredible job.
How long until the Hawaiian themes come back out at UCF games?
I think they should be out anyway at this point. Honestly, because he is that, and that's a big deal. So I think the Hawaii theme is awesome. He wore the lei at his press conference last night. and all that. We finally got to hear from him a little bit. Carson Ingle, welcome.
How are you? We
Good.
got a little sidetracked here trying to find this place. Been a few years since I've been in a radio studio.
All right, well, welcome. Thank you very much
here,
for
man.
coming, Carson Ingle, everyone.
Absolutely.
All right, well, what did you think about the game? We were just talking about Dylan and whether we thought that he needed to, or we were excited or even. I can't think of the word.
I was
surprised by him starting.
I was blown away because really, he had some good moments in the FAU game. I think he started well in that game and he ended well, but the middle was all kind of choppy. But he was on point from minute one all the way through last night, and I can't remember seeing a guy throw a prettier deep ball. I'm not saying he's the best deep ball thrower I've ever seen, but wow.
Well, they're very accurate.
There had to be three of those long bombs that, you just sort of sat there and said, wow, we've really got something here now.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take your phone calls. Phone lines are open on the Dever team line at 844-225-5580, 844-225-5580, or you can text us on the Little Greek Fresh Grill text line at 21232. All right, so I guess the next thing, I have a clip from Coach Heupel.
Okay.
And this is what he had to say after the game. This was his his intro at the press conference.
Really excited about the way our kids played early. We talked about starting fast in this one, just two contrasting styles of play, and thought defensively we squashed everything early and played really smart football with our eyes in the right place and played great third down defense. And obviously the pick early by A-Rob was huge. Special teams were solid all night, and offensively we were able to get things going and play really well early. Big win for the program, and kids are excited about it, and they'll enjoy it tonight, and then we'll move on to the next one.
All right. Well, that is what it is.
No,
I love the way that he, opens his press conferences, just tells, the way it is. And
he's only, obviously, this is his second year as the head coach. But I think what's super important to remember, and he talked about how excited the team was for that kind of win over that kind of opponent. I think it's just important for us always to sort of remember as a fan base that just a few years ago, this wasn't a possibility to roll teams like that, to roll a Pac-12 team that's been a consistent top 25 type team. We know about their size. We know about the kind of athletes that they've been able to recruit there. To see UCF do that, kind of like they did, for the Pitt game last year, similar to that, just come out and really have no issues at all. That margin of victory could have been a lot bigger than it even was. So to see that, I think we always just need to keep in perspective how special this run has been and how amazing it is where the program is at this point from a talent, size, speed, everything across the board.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, we're welcoming in Kyle Israel as well at this moment.
What's up, guys?
So thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. So we were talking about Dylan Gabriel a little bit. We've talked about we just played Heupel's press conference, beginning notes. What did you think just off the top of the game?
Well, you look up with 8:30 left to go in the first quarter when we're winning 21-0. I started pinching myself, looking around me, going, "Is this reality right now? Is this what's going on?" And the way that we did it in such a dominant fashion, and obviously with Dylan under center, I was just shocked. Obviously, you'd want to. I respect Coach Heupel for the way that he handled the second half. We obviously can play both sides of that coin if we want to keep all those guys in and really put the pedal down, but he didn't choose to do that. I respect it. Maybe the score looked a little bit different than we would have anticipated maybe in the first quarter, but we got out of there with a victory against Stanford in convincing fashion, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So, what do you think about Dylan Gabriel? You think that he's the starter now?
Yeah, I don't know how you go any other direction. I thought Dylan was 22 of 30, and 4 touchdown passes. I watched some highlights last night again. I think he probably could have had 6 touchdown passes. He may have said the same thing. He could have had 6 touchdown passes. I think 2 were tackled at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, the Jacob Harris one in particular, and they're in the second half. It was amazing, and I guess from your perspective, I just want to ask you about his ability, how accurate he is on the deep throws, and the way he throws a deep ball. Because
ball
to me,
pops
that was
off his
something that
hand.
I haven't seen that often at this level from someone that is a true freshman. How does he do it, and how do you just assess sort of that aspect of his game?
Well, he's got phenomenal feet. It starts with balance in the pocket. When I've been out at practice watching the quarterbacks with Coach Levy and another quarterback assistant, a lot of what they work on is the base of their feet and being set and delivering the ball. You see Dylan kind of methodically, even when he's not throwing that first read, he's kind of turning his full shoulder, standing in the pocket, looking for the next read. So his feet are set constantly. That helps that deep ball, and then he puts great height on it, and that thing kind of turns over. And a few times there, even though, especially the one to Trey Nixon in the end zone was just on the money. They were all on the money, but it's hard to find that, and it's hard to find somebody that can do that consistently. And luckily we have some guys on the outside. Obviously, Gabe Davis is just phenomenal, and so Dylan be able to get the ball deep to him is great. I think it's special. I think that he's better at this point in his career than when McKenzie was a true freshman and playing for us with Coach Frost. I don't think the team was as good around McKenzie then. This team's much better.
Yeah.
Which is great for Dylan, but phenomenal.
Yeah, he still looks like a freshman out there sometimes, and and you can't really not. I mean, there's a difference between high school ball and college ball, obviously. So, he's going to do that kind of stuff, but I think that he's done enough personally watching him out there to be the starting quarterback. And in a little while, we'll have a clip from him talking about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, I was of the mindset that, okay, I think Dylan's still going to, assuming the weather, and the weather cleared up, and I thought, okay, so they'll probably roll with Dylan. But I honestly thought that if it wasn't against Stanford, maybe against Pitt, certainly against UConn, that Darryl Mack would be back as the starting quarterback and you'd save Dylan's red shirt. But there's no way that you'd do anything different after what happened yesterday.
I saw Mack walking around on the sideline, and he did not look like he was ready to play football. Still limping quite a bit and stuff like that. So it doesn't look like he's ready.
Right.
And I understand that. I mean,
Sure.
This is pretty much where we thought maybe he would be back. But
I think who came in the game with Quadri was very telling late in the game.
Right.
Because right now, if you're Coach Heupel and you're trying to manage a year or two down the road, which you naturally constantly have to do, you need Quadri around because the likelihood of Max staying if Dylan's the starter, I don't think is great, and I wouldn't blame him if he chose to go somewhere else.
Right.
And then you need a guy behind Dylan that's got some experience, a little bit at least. So I think Quadri coming in as the backup in this game may have been more telling. Now, if it was the first quarter and Dylan went down after a drive, maybe it's Mac or Brandon or one of those guys. I don't know if Quadri expands the whole game, but with that lead, I think it's showing us that the coach is trying to prepare for what may happen.
Were you surprised to see Brandon Wimbush come in for the one play?
No, not surprised. I think if you're going to look at him in any scenario, I was talking to a lot of people before the game, and the way that I would what would I express to Brandon is, hey man, you can still be an integral part of this offense no matter what. Short yardage, goal line. There may be ways to use him and keep his head in there, but yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, this has been a great first segment of the first ever edition of Knightline Post-Game Live here with Andrew Phegley, Kyle Israel, and Carson Ingle. We'll be right back. We're going to hit a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more Knights talk in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Is there anything better during football season than mocking your friend's team? It really isn't. My friends let me have it.
We're going to spend the whole week doing that to poor Chris Cody, Greg Cody, Mike Ryan, and Stu Gotch. Jets, Browns, Dolphins. 3 biggest embarrassments in the sport.
83% of the audience said no.
Do you want more from the Dan Le Batard Show?
Dan Le Batard, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN 580 and FM 96.5 HD2.
Oviedo Brewing Company is the hottest microbrewery in Central Florida. Located 7 miles from UCF at the Oviedo Mall, this 8,800 square foot brewery just opened its doors 6 months ago and has already crafted 13 unique beer flavors and counting in their tap room. The tap room contains different styles of beverages, including ciders, wines, and craft sodas. Not only do they have amazing beers, they also have a full kitchen with gourmet pizzas, wings, and tacos. Oviedo Brewing has activities for each day of the week, such as Taco Tuesdays, Trivia Wednesdays, Pizza and Pint on Thursdays, plus live music on Fridays Friday and Saturday evening, but the best is Sunday brunch with unlimited beer mimosas. Need a spot for game day? Oviedo Brewing is just the place with their large TVs to catch all the live games. You'll also find Oviedo Brewing at UCF tailgating sampling beers. And OBC support for the Knights doesn't stop there. If you need a spot for UCF away games, come to Oviedo Brewing Company, where the Knightline sports crew will be broadcasting live after the game. You can get all the details on their Instagram or Facebook page. Follow them at Oviedo Brewing CO. Download the Untapped app, and you can find out what beers are on tap. The food menu is also available on their website, OviedoBrewingCO.com.
Bam! Napleton has your Ram during our giant summer clearance event. At Napleton Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, lease your new 2019 Ram truck from only $259 a month. That's less than $9 a day. Or how about Jeep Wrangler Unlimiteds from only $299 a month? Get to Napleton Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Kissimmee and Claremont. Your ride, your way, today. All offers plus tax tag $899, dealer fee and $199 processing. The Brew Cuz at NapletonCJB.com for full program details.
Fact. About half of all men will experience ED or PE. Fact. Both ED and PE are highly treatable. Fact. A safe, effective treatment is just a call away. At Premier Men's Medical Center, our highly skilled doctors guarantee results on your first visit, or there's no charge. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, the treatments at Premier Men's Medical Center work immediately, regardless of your age or medical history. You'll receive custom blended medications designed just for you. They're safe and effective with no pain and no surgery. Patients are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, the treatments are affordable.
Men, if you want to last longer in the bedroom, schedule a private consultation with the experienced physicians at Premier Men's Medical Center. Call 407-270-3940. 407-270-3940. That's 407-270-3940.
The average car or truck on the road is 10 years old. So how do you afford to keep your vehicle running after your warranty ends? Don't overpay for parts at the dealer or auto parts store. Come to Budget You Pull It for the largest selection and lowest prices on used auto parts in town. Budget You Pull It is a self-service auto salvage yard with more quality used parts than anyone else around. We also pay top dollar for your car, no matter what shape it's in. Plus, we buy scrap metal, small or large quantities. Pull your own parts, but don't pull a lot of cash out of your wallet. Check us out at budget.pullit.com.
Shoot Straight, a premier Smith & Wesson M&P dealer, cares about Central Florida. They offer concealed carry classes at their 2 Central Florida locations in Apopka and Castleberry. Shoot Straight has all the top brands and is the place to go for anything firearms. They carry brands like Sig Sauer, Beretta, Springfield, and Kimber. Plus, they have gun safes from American Security. Get more info at shoot-straight.com or call 407-899-0842. Shoot Straight, the first choice for anything firearms.
The home of the NFL is ESPN 580 Orlando. The NULA Cleveland Browns travel to New York and take on the Jets. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on ESPN 580 and FM 96.5 HD2. Football lives here.
Welcome to Knightline Postgame Live. Night Nation's only postgame call-in show goes live now.
All right, we are back. This is Andrew Phegley. If you guys don't know who I am, by the way, we have done a podcast for the last 5 years about UCF in the podcast land, not on the radio. This is one of the first times we're actually doing radio. So I got Carson, Ingle, and Kyle Israel here. Kyle has been on here quite a bit talking with us. The phone lines, by the way, the Dever Team phone line, 844-225-5580. 844-225-5580, or you can text us on the Little Greek Fresh Grill text line 21232. And we're going to continue talking a little bit about Dylan Gabriel is what we were talking about before the break. Let me play this clip real quick, and then we'll get into that a little bit. This is what he said when he was asked about the starting quarterback job and how he's handling it.
Regardless of what happens, I think all I can do is start from that week, prepare like I am the guy. Regardless of what happens, I'm gonna support if I'm not the guy, and if I am, I got to be ready, and that's how I approach it.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, he's handling it maturely for sure.
Yeah, wise beyond his years, right? For a true freshman to come in, I think what Kyle said earlier, there's no question that he is off to a better start in his UCF career than McKenzie was. Obviously, the talent, depth around him has gotten a lot better, and that certainly helps. But I think for McKenzie, the thing that I'm interested with all these guys, Kyle, there's something about the Hawaiian quarterback, the way, they're just chill, they're just cool, calm, collected. You go back to Marcus Mariota, we talk about Tua, we saw it with McKenzie, we're seeing it with Gabriel
Timmy
now.
Chang all the way back in the day.
I think that helps, right? These guys with that kind of calm, cool to come in early and be able to handle what Dylan's handling right now.
Yeah, obviously, the coming in the second half of his senior year to UCF was critical, I think, for his success at this point this season. I think if you're a college or high school football player listening, or the parent of one that's considering going to school early, in this scenario, it shows you, that's critical. But those Hawaiian guys, they just have a different makeup, and they have a composure that you're not used to seeing at such a young age. You remember on that little island and where they're playing. I mean, they're really, really, really good football players that they're playing against, from youth football all the way up through high school. So they come out of Hawaii very well prepared, not just quarterbacks, but a lot of those players that play in the Pac-12 and up there in Washington and Oregon, those guys play good football. So I think all that plays into it. It's just phenomenal that you see. I saw somebody tweeted last night, we got two guys from the same high school 4,700 miles away that are both here contributing.
Isn't that amazing?
To us. It's unbelievable. And Dylan, you look at numbers and stats in high school, and my cousin was a quarterback at Lake Nona and threw up all these stats, and that doesn't always mean just great football player. But when you're a Dylan and you have better stats in high school than Tua and then McKenzie and break all those guys' records, there's something special there, and we're seeing that play out in front of us.
All right, hey, we got a phone call. Andrew from Oviedo is on the Dever team line at okay. So Andrew, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. What's your take on the game?
I was very surprised that Dylan got the start. I thought Heupel was going to play it safe, put Wimbush in, but I was pleasantly surprised when Dylan came in and basically dominated the first quarter. It was a very pleasant surprise.
Would you have expected Dylan? Is that the play that you expected out of Dylan when they did go with him as a starter? Is that what you anticipated? I anticipated him going deep. I didn't expect short, medium range. I thought he was going to test the secondary early and quick with the long bombs, and that's basically what he did. That was one of the things that I noticed about Dylan. Obviously, the deep passes kind of loosened the defense up, but he was sharp, accurate on the intermediate throws, 3rd and 8, 3rd and long. We converted some 3rd down there, and that's what you want to see. We know he can throw the deep ball. He's proven that now a couple weeks in a row. And so that's what I was more thoroughly impressed with yesterday. You bring that up right there. I mean, it's those intermediate passes. And if you think back in the first quarter, Dylan made some plays in the pocket where he evaded the rush, reset his feet, kept his eyes down the field, most importantly, and was able to deliver strikes. And that, to me, that presence in the pocket is something that we've got accustomed to with McKenzie, extending the play, and Tua does the same thing, and I think we saw that out of Dylan, which shows how special he can be because of his awareness right now. Absolutely, 100%.
Andrew, was there anything else you got?
Just our defense is much better than last year. I mean, no second half Randy. Looks like it's full speed ahead. This defense is suffocating. I mean, there might have been a missed tackle here and there, but I mean, Costello did not look comfortable much in the pocket. He rushed. I mean, I don't know how many quarterback hurries we had, but he was not comfortable in the pocket, and the run game just couldn't get off the ground either.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Again, man. Take care.
All right, the phone lines are open at 844-225-5580 on the Dever Team phone line. Appreciate the call from Andrew. He is one of our most consistent callers on Postgame Live, so I really appreciate that. He brought up the defensive line. What did you think about the defensive line?
Yeah,
I mean no sacks, but sure. No sacks on either side, by the way, and we'll talk a little bit more about the offensive line
But
here
just
in a minute.
their overall body of work so far this season, I mean, I think that we thought going into the year, and I know that Kyle was able to go out to some practices and see things maybe from a closer eye than you and I were, but I mean, that was sort of the consensus. This is going to be the weak spot on this team is, the defensive line. You're graduating, Tristan left early, Joey Connors is out, Titus Davis is gone. So there's a ton of guys that you're like, okay, where, how is this defensive line going to kind of shake down? But I think what we're seeing is that Randy Shannon has got some of his guys in there now. He's able to play a little bit more of how he wants this defense to play this season, and we're seeing that pay off in a big way.
Yeah, and really the defense, KJ Costello is an experienced quarterback, so he knows how to get rid of the football. I don't think that he's the type of player you're going to see many sacks against, because if nothing else, he will throw the ball away and get it out of his hand. He's experienced and polished and played in a lot of big games. But, I'm right there with you, Carson. He looked uncomfortable throughout the course of the night. We had guys in phase, in coverage down the field that were knocking balls down. I think our defensive backs played well periodically throughout the game and creating some big plays. Obviously, the interception on the contended pass there in the first quarter puts us in position for Greg McCray to have a 1-yard touchdown run. The defense played a critical role. If Stanford goes down, scores, or kicks a field goal on that drive, and it's all of a sudden 7-7 or 7-3, we're playing a different football game than we ended up playing. So our defense stepped up when we needed them to. They turned the ball over there early on, and that gave us a ton of momentum at home. And I've been impressed with the defense, and certainly the way that Coach Shannon has coached those guys up, the way that they're rallying to the football and competing for every pass. That's sometimes something we didn't see last year. And listen, I love Pat Jasinski, and people have been critical of myself and my play and when I was playing and after, and so I'll be careful. But Pat Jasinski at the linebacker position last year, it's clear that the speed that is there now surpasses what he was able to do and just makes us a better overall defense at the linebacker position. That's not a knock on Pat, but we have some guys that just have more speed now, and that's clear.
Yeah, guys, great talk so far. This is Knightline Postgame Live with Andrew Phegley, Kyle Israel, and Carson Ingle, the first ever edition of the show. It's been awesome so far. We'll break down some more from the latest of UCF. If you want to get in touch with the show, go ahead and give us a call at 844-225-5580 or shoot us a text at 21232. We're going to get to those texts coming up after the break right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hold your breath. Football is back.
That is unbelievable.
It's an NFL triple header Sunday on ESPN 580. First at 1 p.m., the Miami Dolphins welcome the New England Patriots to Hard Rock Stadium. Will we see another Miami miracle? Make sure your radio is set, because this one is not on local TV. Then at 4:30, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs travel to Oakland to battle the Raiders. And Sunday Night Football pits the Eagles against the Falcons. Another triple header Sunday is on ESPN 580 and FM 96.5 HD2.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
It's coming. International Diamond Center's All Tacori Weekend, September 20th through 22nd. For this event, IDC is turning our showroom Tacori Blue, flying in the entire Tacori bridal and fashion collection straight from Los Angeles. You know Tacori, handcrafted in California by true artisans. It's no wonder every girl wants to be a Tacori girl. And next weekend, we're making it happen with 30 months zero interest financing on all Tacori jewelry. Plus, if you buy any Tacori engagement ring, we'll give you a $500 gift card. Buy the matching band and get a $1,000 gift card. Buy his Tacori wedding band and get another $500 gift card. Plus, a tremendous selection of new GIA and Forever Mark diamonds straight from the diamond cutters, so you can create the ultimate ring and get the most savings.
This is Paul Tacorian, president of Tacori.
Come join us as we unveil the entire Tacori collection with special offers all weekend at International Diamond Center. It's going to be an awesome event.
Don't miss the Tacori event of the year, September 20th, 21st, and 22nd, only at International Diamond Center with 4 Orlando locations. On approved credit, see store for details.
Bad weather means big savings for you.
Because of the storm, Greenway Dodge has a huge inventory of 2019 vehicles. You can save as much as $17,000 on 2019 Ram, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler models. It's the Greenway Dodge 2019 Dodge Power Dollars happening right now. 2020 models are on the way, and the 2019s have got to go.
That means massive savings for you.
Shop us 24/7 at GreenwayDodge.com for 2019 end-of-model year closeout prices. Feel the Greenway Dodge difference.
Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. If you're one of them, either can be embarrassing, but they're both very treatable. Fortunately, Premier Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Schwartz, a specialist in men's health.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, Premier Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call Premier Men's Medical Center, 407-270-3940. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or there's no charge for your consultation. Call Premier Men's Medical Center now at 407-270-3940. 407-270-3940. That's 407-270-3940.
That one is hooking and good! The 2019 football season is upon us, and you can get the latest news, odds, and information at betonline.net. From trades and rookie draft picks to new coaching staffs, the offseason has brought about plenty of change to each of the 32 teams. Follow along at betonline.net as the top teams in football begin their journey to Miami. Available on your laptop or mobile device. Check out the site today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Hey, Nicky Football here. Join us Monday at 6 for Live, Local, and Loud. CC and I recap the football weekend. And how did my 5 picks against the spread do? We'll also give you a touchdown of takeaways from college and the NFL. It's tonight at 6 here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome to Knightline Postgame Live. Night Nation's only postgame call-in show goes live now.
All right, this is Andrew Phegley back in the Victory Casinos Cruises.com studio here on 580 ESPN Orlando. And I'm joined by Kyle Israel and Carson Ingle. Phones are open at 844-225-5580, or you can text us at 21232. We actually have a text, and it was from Oliver in Claremont, and it said the Stanford, I keep calling it Sanford because I live in Sanford, but the Stanford Daily had an article that said their pass rushers were going to have a big time against our O-line because UCF lacks major conference talent. Yeah. That I don't think that they think that anymore.
Well, again, I think this is just another, kind of leaf off of the point that I made early, is that just how special it is to understand and sit back and just think about for a moment where this program is.
Wait, is this Carson Ingle talking right now? Just positive with these really positive.
I mean, how can you not be at this point? It's an interesting place to be. It's certainly different than maybe when we did this show years ago.
Yes,
Kyle. But the talent, depth, and recruiting, and to be able to be in the position that UCF's in and still get that depth on the offensive and defensive lines. You can always find athletes to play the skill positions, but to get the kind of talent that UCF has right now on both lines, just super impressive. And I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that this is the best offensive line that we've had in the history of the program. I don't know how you feel about it, Kyle, but I mean, you played with a pretty good offensive line, a couple guys that made it to the NFL, but I think this is the best offensive line that UCF's ever had.
Well, there's a couple of different things. If I'm an offensive lineman and we're recruiting, UCF each and every week is becoming more of a place I would potentially want to land because our coaching staff gives our offensive line such an advantage each and every series because of our tempo. We're back up I mean, we're snapping the ball. Yesterday I saw us snap the ball a few times in 11 seconds from when the ball was blown dead, which is so fast. And that gives our our offensive line a huge advantage over a defense that, number one, is getting stuck on the field, and number two, can't rotate guys in and out to create some depth there. So I think that our staff gives our O-line a big advantage each drive. And if you're recruiting high school and you're looking at UCF, you're saying, man, as an offensive lineman, they do some stuff that's pretty exciting. They do stuff that's really, really flashy, and they're able to dominate the line of scrimmage. And so it's been obvious that is an area that we are really good at right now. And I think it's clear, not only do we have 4 incredible running backs, but we have a line that can get out in front of them and block.
Again, no sacks this game at all from our offensive line or the other side as well. No sacks in this game. It's kind of weird.
It certainly helps. Our style and the way that we spread the ball out, it forces teams to really have to be conscious of whether or not they want to blitz. And if you do blitz, we have guys in the slot that can run hot routes with Otis and AK and and these guys that are going to expose you if you're not in tight man-to-man coverage. So when you don't feel like you can blitz, it's hard to create pressure with just 4 down linemen. And with an offensive line that we have, that gives us an advantage. So I think that right now, we're firing on all cylinders.
All right, hey, so the phone lines are open at the Dever Team phone line, 844-225-5580. Give us a call, and we'll answer your questions or talk about whatever you want to talk about. Or that you can text us on the Little Greek Fresh Grill text line, 21232. So, very cool. All right, what about play calling? We talk about that a little bit. We talked about it a lot last year, the play calling, and because we were just getting used to Heupel's style a little bit. Do you guys think that maybe he's coming into his own a little bit? I mean, Jeff Lebby, I know, is the offensive coordinator, is calling a little bit more of the plays than they did before, I think. But what did you think overall about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing more of the stuff that we want to see. This is where you might see a little bit of the old Carson, Kyle, because I have been critical of the play calling of Coach Heupel, even dating back to the UConn game, his first game last year. We blew him out, but I'm sitting here like I'm just not comfortable with the lack of diversity in the offense. And that's kind of what you see from these air raid schemes, and that's why we do see a lot of the deep passing game. And I feel like there's certainly been a lack of that intermediate and short passing game, but we saw more of it yesterday, which I was happy to see. And I think they've done a better job of incorporating Otis and Adrian Killens, 2 guys that were perfect fits for what Scott Frost was doing and maybe not so much for what Heupel wants to do. And I thought last year it was just sort of a shame that I thought that they didn't really get utilized as well, considering how talented they are. But now that we're a year into this thing, it seems like there is a little bit more of including them and making them a part of how things move.
Well, our strength offensively is vertical. I mean, with Gabe Davis, you look at some of the other big-time wide receivers we've had come through UCF. Gabe Davis, including Brandon Marshall, is as good, if not better, at this stage in his career. So he can clearly, against one of the better corners in the country last night, number 11 for Stanford, I forget his name, just dominated him, got clear separation, beat him on one deadly hitch and go for a touchdown. I like that Coach is willing to throw the ball vertical and that the reads are long to short rather than short to long. That's given us a chance to press the defense down the field. And I do think that with some of the motions, and again, the tempo, it's we think of Oregon for so long and that up-tempo offense that they ran, even Coach Frost running that same style. Coach Heupel's offense is probably 2, 3, 4 seconds on average quicker in snapping the football, which is it just gives you such an advantage before the ball's ever snapped to have a good play. And so I like the combination of play calls.
My only concern with it is it something like I almost equate it to like basketball when you've got a 3-point shooting team and then you kind of go on a dry spell where you can't hit your threes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this offense the same way where maybe the deep ball's not working for you one day and now you need that, shorter passing game, and if you haven't done it and don't have it, then maybe you get in a situation where it's sort of boom or bust if you're just not accurate that day on the deep ball.
That'd be a concern to me if we had one back that was like a workhorse for us, and we were just trying to. That was our answer to not being able to hit the deep pass. Was trying to stuff it to maybe like a Bentavious Thompson every play. But because of the diversity at running back, the ability to really get guys on the edge with the ball in their hands, or even up the middle with Adrian Killens, sometimes I still scratch my head when I see him running in between the guards. But nonetheless, we are able to answer with run the game.
I actually heard a lot about just around me. I like to listen to the fans and what they're saying, and there's a lot of talk when Adrian Killens or Otis Anderson up the middle. It gets a lot, but you can call us. By the way, you can join the conversation with us on the Dever Team hotline 844-225-5580, 844-225-5580, or you can text us on the Little Greek Fresh Grill text line 21232. Would appreciate anybody doing that, but it's all good. I wanted to talk a little bit about the referees. Obviously, they were Pac-12 referees, and I don't think that they were completely fair, and I think they made some bad calls a couple times. The pass interference that was called on Neville Clark, I think, was ridiculous. He didn't even touch that guy. So, I don't know. Let me get your opinion.
Yeah, that was something that I heard after the game, just around, like you said. I like to listen to kind of get what the perspective is of everyone, and that was something certainly that people were talking about after the game, both ways. Just a little bit inconsistent. I mean, it's gonna.
I always like to give the referees trouble.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But you weren't the only one that brought that up. So I mean, that was definitely something that I heard as well.
I think it's harder to be critical of referees when we're beating the crap out of a team.
Yeah.
And maybe me noticing some of their calls. I didn't notice as much of an atrocious game, but again, I was just so enthralled with the fact that we were beating the crap out of those guys 38-7 that I didn't really care.
By the way, joining me, I'm Andrew Phegley, and this is Carson Ingle and Kyle Israel here with me as well. This is Knightline Postgame Live, and by the way, you can hear our podcast that we do every week. You can hear it on all the podcast platforms, and then you can also hear it on NightlineSports.com.
I go to listen at NightlineSports.com. That's where I go.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah, it's all over the
Otherwise,
place.
I forget. I have to keep it right there, ready to go, even when I'm on. I'm like,
cool. Yeah, if you have Apple, it's on there. Google, it's on there. Really, pretty much any of the platforms. But you can call us again. You can join the conversation here on the Dever Team line at 844-225-5580, or text us on the Little Greek Fresh Grill text line 21232. All right, so another thing that I heard a lot about was kind of stepping off the gas with the offense. Kind of in the third quarter, second half, they really kind of just turned it down a little bit. What's your opinion on that?
Totally okay with it. I mean, if you think about what, with Brandon Moore, his injury in the first game, I mean, to me, I'm totally fine with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I am. Listen, there is a time and place to put up points. Obviously, the fan base, because of the national criticism and everybody questioning us and our legitimacy, which I think we're slowly starting to put to bed that conversation. I would have liked to see 50. If I'm being candid with you, if I had Coach Heupel sitting across from me, I'd be like, Coach, man, you sure you don't want to at least put up 50 on these guys? Because we definitely could have. But again, I respect the fact that he's trying to take care of the players. And again, we got a game on the road next week at Pitt against a team that's going to be super pissed off from us beating the crap out of them last year at home. And you're probably going to have a fan base that is coming to see us play. UCF is now a draw for an opposing fan base to come out and say, hey, I want to watch these guys in person. And I think that sitting some guys, getting some rest, and looking forward to next week is the right thing to do.
Yeah, can't agree with you more, Kyle. This is Knightline Live, postgame live, with Andrew Phegley, Kyle Israel, and Carson Ingle, the first ever edition of the show, the only show that answers all your UCF questions, all your UCF concerns. You can go ahead and give us a call if you want to talk UCF Knights and what you saw yesterday on the field against Stanford. That number is 844-225-5580. That's 844-225-5580. You can go ahead and shoot us a text too at 21232. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Regardless of your disgust with Antonio Brown's antics, it would be incredibly irresponsible to castigate him as somebody who's guilty of the allegations that have been levied against him. And it would also be equally unfair to automatically assume that this woman, Brittany Taylor, is lying. We don't know, period. Here's what's safe to say. National Football League doesn't have to.
Stephen A. Smith, 1 to 3 on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline and Knightline Postgame Live. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
You've heard us talk about the great food at our good friend Kyle Israel's restaurant, The Little Greek Fresh Grill. The Little Greek now has franchises available. Please call 407-697-2272. That's 407-697-2272 to see what The Little Greek can do for you. Also check out The Little Greek's newest location at 3131 Daniels Road, Suite 104, Winter Garden, Florida. The Little Greek Fresh Grill. Fresh, flavorful, fabulous.
The average car or truck on the road is 10 years old. So how do you afford to keep your vehicle running after your warranty ends? Don't overpay for parts at the dealer or auto parts store. Come to Budget You Pull It for the largest selection and lowest prices on used auto parts in town. Budget You Pull It is a self-service auto salvage yard with more quality used parts than anyone else around. We also pay top dollar for your car, no matter what shape it's in. Plus, we buy scrap metal, small or large quantities. Pull your own parts, but don't pull a lot of cash out of your wallet. Check us out at budget.com.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new arrivals from TaylorMade. Introducing the new P790 irons and the new Mill Grind 2 wedges. The P790 irons feature speed foam technology and redesigned tungsten weighting for optimum feel and distance. And the new Mill Grind 2 wedges designed for increased spin and precision with raw face technology. Let us help you get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
It's coming. The most spectacular diamond event in all of Central Florida. Next weekend at International Diamond Center. This is the diamond buying opportunity you've been waiting for. September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. As a premier Forevermark dealer for this event, International Diamond Center is bringing you unprecedented access to Forevermark diamonds in all shapes and sizes. You know Forevermark from De Beers. Each Forevermark diamond comes with a promise of beauty, rarity, and responsible sourcing. That's why less than 1% of the world's diamonds are worthy of the Forevermark inscription. Don't miss this extraordinary Forevermark event with exceptional values and 30 months zero interest financing. And during this event, get special offers on all engagement ring mountings and 20% savings on virtually all wedding band purchases. Get her the diamond she deserves, a Forevermark diamond, next weekend only, and only at International Diamond Center with 4 Orlando locations. On approved credit, see store for details.
Cox Media Group Orlando is proud to support our veterans with an honor flight to Washington, D.C. on October 19th to see the monuments that were created from their sacrifices. This visit will allow veterans who otherwise would not be able to go to our nation's capital to see their memorials have that opportunity. We would like to thank our local partner, Premier Men's Medical Center, for helping us honor these veterans with this flight in their honor. Thanks again to all our veterans.
Now you can listen to ESPN 580 Orlando on your smart speaker.
Alexa, play ESPN 580.
Hear all your favorite ESPN 580 shows just by saying,
"Hey Alexa, play ESPN 580 on TuneIn."
ESPN 580 Orlando from TuneIn.
Welcome to Knightline Postgame Live, Night Nation's only postgame call-in show. Goes live now.
All right, we're back on ESPN 580 Orlando in the Victory Casino Cruises.com studios. I'm here with Kyle Israel and Carson Ingle. I'm Andrew Phegley. Let's just go to the phones. We got a couple phone calls here, so let's do that if we can. I think Roger is on here. Roger, what was your take on the game?
Good morning, gentlemen. It was a lot of fun. At least that first half was really, really fun. I think I was pleasantly surprised to see Dylan have such a great game. 73% passing, is literally unheard of, and that's against a P5 defensive line and a quote-unquote vaunted cornerback. The O-line, the big thing I was looking for going into the games was how were our lines going to hold up against larger lines. The big thing with LSU last year when we played them was line play, and I was expecting the same thing going into this game. The offensive line was opening up gaping holes against their D-line, and vice versa. On the defense, we were in the backfield constantly. We had another 12 tackles for a loss. By the third, almost fourth quarter, I think into the fourth quarter, which when you consider FAU, we had 15 and we had 12 in the fourth quarter. That says a lot about how much our D-line was able to push the offensive line around. So Dylan Gabriel was fun to watch him actually go through progressions and reads. He started off on one side of the field and he had enough time, thanks to the offensive line. And actually the running backs did a much better job than they were doing last year of blocking blitzers just to be able to scan the field. And, that guy, he just dropped dimes.
Okay, hey, Kyle, you got anything to say back to Roger there? Thanks, Roger, for your call, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Roger.
Really appreciate it.
I think he made great points. Obviously, we absolutely – when I was down on the sideline, I was looking at Stanford and comparing them size-wise to, our D-line, and I'm talking about the Stanford O-line. And all I really recognized was a height advantage. It wasn't like a stature or a thickness with these Stanford guys. Again, I said early on in the camp that this is the first time I think we look physically like a Power 5 team ourselves. And when I saw Stanford's line and our line just there warming up, I didn't see this huge discrepancy. I can remember being recruited back in the day quickly and being at Alabama in 2002 and 2003 and being at awe with the size of their D-line. And Stanford didn't possess that. We're getting closer to that. But we're talking about these P5 opponents. I think that conversation is going to start to dwindle the more success that we continue to have, because I just don't think that we fit outside of that conversation anymore. We are forced to be who we are because of our conference, but our football team is a Power 5 football team.
Absolutely. All right, let's take this next phone call. We have Travis. Travis is one of our main sponsors, and he's a good guy. Travis, what do you think about the game, man? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I actually just left campus. This is weird calling you guys. I'll actually remember the phone call.
We have a heck of a tailgate out there.
Right after. Yeah, it used to be right after the game. It was a little bit different on the way home. I got no voice, that I'm hurting a little bit. So I'm just heading home, but what a fun time.
Yeah, thank you, man, for calling. Really appreciate it. Did anything surprise you during the game?
I don't know if it surprised me. It was glad. I think we've been waiting to see it all come together and happen, and seeing Dylan just kind of take over that game. I think a lot of us thought would happen eventually, but we weren't sure when, and when they'd let him kind of take over and be himself. And it sure looked like he was ready to play. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more of him, and probably too bad for Mac and some of the other guys, but I think Dylan will be leading the way.
All right, man. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you've done for Knightline. I really appreciate it.
Love it, guys. We'll talk to you.
All right, thank you. All right, so we got some texts over here. It's kind of behind me, so I've been bad about any update on Jacob Harris. I didn't hear anything. Kyle or Carson, do you guys have anything?
He got up and walked off, so I almost thought that was just a situation where he, landed on the ball and maybe, got the
wind knocked out
out of him a little bit, because he was sort of like
just.
He was like on his knees there, and it didn't look like he was like hurt of any substantial amount. So I think he's going to be okay, but we'll have to see on that.
And that was from Chad Barr, by the way, another guy that helps us out a lot. And then another text we have here, Desmond. This person said Desmond Howard summed it all up when what he said. Why would you schedule that game? How much harder to Danny White's job? How much harder is Danny White's job after the country watched us stump Stanford?
Yeah, and I did hear. I'm looking forward to watching the broadcast back, because I did hear that. I mean, they were, just gushing about how much everything the game day came together, how great the atmosphere was, how talented the team was, and that conversation carried into other games. Last night, as I was looking on Twitter, they said that, the UCF talk was all over the Arizona-Texas Tech game last night. And so, like you said, kind of breaking that narrative that you said earlier, Kyle, I think that's where we're headed. I mean, if I had to look at, the top 25 polls today, I think UCF's a top 10 team in the country right now. They might not be, right on par with Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma at the top, but I think they're right there nipping at their heels after that. You look at a top 10 team like Florida, I don't think there's any way that you can look at what Florida's done through this early part of the season and then look at what UCF is and say that the Gators are better than the Knights. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Rough night for Felipe Franks with the Florida Gators. I do feel bad for Felipe and what he went through. I think he got a dislocated ankle last night. That Florida Gator team may be in better position with their backup quarterback than they were with Felipe. But nonetheless, I think the conversation is going to continue, and certainly it is going to be harder for Danny White to schedule. It is already hard for him to schedule, but at the same time, how do you get those guys in the future? It's going to be tough. People are going the script will need to flip too, and I know we're back up against the clock here. We have to play UCF because they're going to make our strength of schedule better. I'm waiting for that to start happening.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, for all your calls, your texts, and all that stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for ESPN Orlando 580 for having us here. We really appreciate it. Listen to Knightline anywhere you find your podcast. Thank you.
Charge on.